Knuckle-up TV, I'm with Ambrose Mendy and the Dark Destroyer himself, Nigel Benn.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm not too bad, Nigel.
How you doing?
How does it feel to be back in the UK?
How does it feel to be back in the UK?
Right. What was it about him that you disliked about him? Is it just the persona, the arrogance, the sheer...
Well, you just said it all, really, in a nutshell. Yeah. You know, with his persona. But that's who he is, that's what made him who he is today. So, you know, you've got to take your hat off to him. It worked for him. It worked for me, he just knew how to rub me up the wrong way. And he would do the same with Ambrose, he'd rub me up the wrong way. But that's the way he is, that's who he is. But we needed him, I thank God that he was around.
Do you know what he said recently in a press conference statement? He says he wasn't happy with his career and it wasn't managed well. That's what he said.
I think for him to say that is ridiculous.
And he says boxing.
What Barry Hearn did for Chris Eubank. Because remember, Eubank came to us in the first instance, and the answer was no. And then he fought Anthony Logan. He fought Anthony Logan after you. Life and death. The ref gave it by a quarter of a point. And if he'd lost, we wouldn't have earned any more. I think he was that type of fighter. If he had lost, then he'd have gone. You know, the fight quite right.
Listen, he got a lot of close decisions, mate. Nobody wanted to lose the WBO. They needed him. He had some close. We're very close and all in.
There were bum fights. There were a lot of bum fights.
Yeah.
Tony Fulton, Lyndon Holmes, Juan Carlos Jimenez. The list goes on. They were all
and yet he fought
fighters.
Put on a
they weren't even top 20. They weren't even top 20.
No, and in the United States.
But you got to give it to him. We can't knock him because you got to give it to him. The reason why you got to give it to him, it was like we all used to knock Joe Kawasaki, but when Joe Kawasaki had to step up, he stepped up. Eubank had to step up. He had to step up. He done it. He done it with me. He done it with Watson when he was losing. But you know what? He stepped up. He stepped up.
Yeah, there are some footballers that can only do it on a big stage, big matches. You know, they can't play away. They can only play at home.
He did that, didn't he? He steps it up. Obviously, the Watson fight.
I'm telling you, I've got a tape of me and him sparring, and it was just like the Rocky 3. I'm not joking. I've got it. I've got it on tape, and like before we went to the gym, he'd go, "Come on, let's spar." We was at home, and I said, "Don't spar. That's gonna hurt you. What's silly one about you want to spar with me?" So this was before he was leaving last year, and we both were just in the gym, and we just looked at each other, and it was like, and he looked at him, and we laced up the gloves, right? It weren't no boxing, it was just fighting. When he becomes world champion, then I shut, because I ain't letting nobody see him stiff my legs up when he ain't world champion. But I mean, we were banging, I'm like 20 kilos heavier than him. I threw the kitchen sink at him, I threw the car at him, and he threw everything back at me and said, "You know what, yeah, hold the interest as well." Wow. Oh, wow. Well, I've done a couple of them. I mean, like, you're cool. I mean, yeah, and it was like, he didn't even care with his dad at that time. He just let him know, like, yeah, you coming in my ring, this is what you're going to get. And like I said, 2-3 years time, I put him in with Amir Khan and Kelbrook. I just know Connor. He has that fighting instinct, like how, you know, when you get hit, yeah, really, he's like that. He's like that.
I'm laughing, right, smile, because it's a father and son thing. And like, you obviously never met Nigel's dad, God rest his soul, Dick. Dick was like bigger than Frank Bruno. He looked like he could...
Dixon, right? Is it Dixon? Yeah.
And on this, it's like from Nigel, like looking up, could he have gone to his dad and had this kind of... No, so things evolve. And on here, I mean, look, two things. One, on Connor's feet, he sets his feet exactly like his dad.
Everyone said that.
Exactly like his dad, which means that out of the normally orthodox left hand, you can throw a right hand. Which the amount of time Nigel caught opponents with that punch, there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. So if he's excited by it, Connor, I think we will all be excited.
100%.
What would you say your greatest night was in the British boxing?
I tell you, be honest with you, from the first one to the last one.